Hey everybody, it's the program.
It's Wednesday.
We're on TV again, once a day, every day.
Spaghetti week.
That's right.
I was going to bring spaghetti, but my roommate made some stuff in a crock pot, and so there was a bunch of food, and there was really no need to make another meal.
Yeah.
But maybe tomorrow I'll make some spaghetti and call in and talk about it.
Yeah.
There's gross shit on my
Yeah, the thing. Yeah.
crumbs, and I don't know what it is.
That's weird. We might want to get that wiped off.
Yeah. I don't know. I usually talk with like microphone all up in my face, but I'm kind of not going to do that with this one.
It's just crumbs.
Yeah. But they've been there forever.
Yeah, those are pretty old crumbs.
Anyways, yeah, I just got back from New Orleans. I was there
The
for
Big Easy.
4 days. Yeah, the Big Easy. I went to Bourbon Street,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. It's like 8 blocks or something ridiculous. Might be more than that. Might be like 12. There's just like bars everywhere and strip clubs, and all the bars have like garage doors on the front.
Whoa.
Huge openings because you can drink out on the road and sidewalks.
Oh man.
So people are just like going in and out of places, grabbing drinks, leaving. I was there like noon or 1, and it was all packed up with people.
People drinking.
Yeah.
In the streets.
Yeah, they had the like gigantic, like hurricane drinks. They're in these like green. I think that's what they are. There's these ones like these green plastic things that look like those lemonades they sell at like the Puyallup Fair.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous sized.
Blues.
Yeah, everybody's drinking those, and then the funny thing is they spray off the sidewalks. They're all brick, and so they like hose them down in the morning from people throwing up.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They do that every day, and it smells kind of weird. Most of it, I couldn't really like put a finger on what the smell was.
Was it vomit?
No, it was just like it reminded me of a smell I've smelled before. I think it was just like
Bathrooms.
rotten food.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably. I mean, that's some.
The only time I smelled it was on like a pig farm where the people used. I grew up on a pig farm, but it wasn't my pig farm. On this particular one, they used like they would get free food and stuff from like McDonald's, like cans of
That's probably
cans of like the spray cheese and just like really horrible stuff instead of like grain and actual. But this is probably just basically like puke in the like wherever they washed it away to.
Yeah.
So that was the smell, which I don't know, whatever. I had a few beers. Not too many, though. I think people think I would get all wasted in New Orleans, but I didn't. I was there hanging out with my dad.
Yeah.
I actually drove. I drove. All of the driving we did was me, because my dad is a crappy, like, freeway driver.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, city driver, and that's, like, all it was, just freeways and cities.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll just drive, whatever. And
What else kind of driving is there?
rural driving, not crowded driving.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So I didn't drink at all, except for when we went to WrestleMania. That was our main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I drank there because we took a taxi there, which we probably shouldn't have because the place I'd planned on parking, it was only like $20, but then we spent like more on the taxi both ways. But whatever, I didn't have to drive, and if I would have driven, it probably would have been a whole different situation.
Mm-hmm.
We had to wait a while for it. But anyways, back to the driving. I remember when you called me, I mentioned
They're bad drivers.
yeah, that was one of the first things I noticed. Like the drive, on the freeway there's a minimum speed limit, which was 40, and then they have like the speed limit, which is 60, just like everywhere else pretty much. But the thing was, people were driving anywhere from 40 to 60 in all lanes.
Yeah.
Just be like a car in the like far left lane going 40 miles an hour, and cars just like going around it. Nobody ever signals.
What?
That was really strange. I mean, a few people signaled, like maybe 1 out of every like 50 cars that changed a lane.
Oh,
that I
that's
saw
dangerous.
would
That's
signal.
very dangerous.
There were cars driving just like in 2 lanes, just
What?
like for like a mile. They do that.
Just because?
Yeah.
Nobody was stopping them. Huh?
Like maybe the guy was indecisive about where he wanted to drive. I don't know. I saw a car driving in like the shoulder for like a mile,
What?
even though there was plenty of room in like all the lanes.
Weird.
My dad was like, "Oh, that guy must be drunk." I was like, "Oh, he's staying only in the shoulder though."
Yeah. Yeah, no, weaving between.
It was like downtown too. There was it was really like a winding highway. It's just kind of crazy. And it's really it's flat there, which was kind of strange driving. It's around here. There's hills everywhere. You don't really notice them, but you notice when it's completely flat everywhere and there's like no hills at all. Yeah, that was a different thing. We drove out east of the city. Our hotel was actually east, like northeast of the city, but we drove way farther out. And apparently, during the hurricane, that whole area, everything had to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Like everything, because it was under like 10 to 15 feet of water for a while. So that's where the Lake Pontchartrain, which is right there, the big lake north of New Orleans, that it's actually above the city. It's at sea level, and the city's at no, actually, I think it's at like 10 feet, above, like 10 feet above sea level, and the city is 5 feet below sea level.
What, below sea level?
Yeah, and so the whole area was full. Everything was pretty new.
Yeah.
But just kind of, it was just weird. It was a strange area. But we drove further out to the east towards Mississippi. The city there is actually Slidell, Louisiana, and it's just like swampland that the highway is going in between. It's kind of where the Mississippi River is, like the delta, and the Lake Pontchartrain is right there. And that was kind of weird driving, because there would be just like these really short trees, like maybe 10 or 15 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
And that's all you could see, but occasionally there'd be a break in them, and there would be just weird, like marshy, just water as far as you could see, with more trees. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. And the first day we were just like driving around, and we didn't go. There's like an 8-mile long bridge you have to cross to get to Slidell, Louisiana, and then Mississippi. We didn't cross that bridge. We got off on the exit before that, which is a place called Irish Bayou. And when we were driving, we could see like these houses raised up on pillars. I was like, whoa, that's cool. Let's go check that out. And so we went over there, and all the places we'd been to before, we like didn't really hear any accents, like downtown or, well, basically like at the airport and then our hotel. So we went to Irish Bayou, and I stopped at a gas station because I wanted like a Gatorade because I was pretty thirsty. And we had an overnight flight, and I didn't sleep at all.
Whoa.
So this was around noon their time.
Sleep on the plane.
I couldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I wasn't that tired, and then I tried for a while, and it just wasn't happening because I was listening to like podcasts, and I can't sleep when I have headphones in, I guess.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, whatever. And so, anyways, we go to this gas station, and the people there they're like the backwoods hillbillies.
Whoa.
I feel like they probably don't even go to the city because they're afraid of it. Which is something I learned on Sunday. Was that a lot of people from outside of downtown New Orleans are like afraid of the city. I met a guy that had only been there like twice in his life, and he lives like 20 miles outside of New Orleans.
Whoa.
And he was really worried about getting mugged, like walking down the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like walking around everywhere downtown.
Didn't get mugged?
I was like, didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, whatever.
You didn't almost get mugged?
But then, like, you think about, like, me and my dad are both like 6'4".
Yeah.
Like pretty huge.
Yeah.
So we don't look like victims, I
Muggable.
guess. Yeah. And I'm like dressed like I dress, and so it doesn't look like I have money or anything.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, we're over at Irish Bayou, driving around, and looking at these houses that are built up like right on the water. There's like a canal, and which basically takes the water from the lake and moves it around. Gives it a place to flow instead of just over and into the city. And all these houses are like, they're on these pillars like 20 to 30 feet up.
Yeah.
And it just looks really weird. It's like an entire house built up there. And then below it, they'll like park like RVs and cars and all sorts of weird stuff. There was one place I saw, which I actually should have taken a picture of. It was like a storage container that they put on like semi trucks and ships and all that. That was up on pillars with like a stairway, and I guess people were living in that. So that was pretty crazy.
It's time for the dice game.
Yeah, that was day one of Louisiana. There's more to it. can get to.
What happens here? We're gonna get out a pen. We're gonna write down a number on our hands between 1 and 6.
It's a dice game. 6 dice total. 3 rounds. You got a number yet?
Yeah, hold on here. How was the plane? Did you see it? Was it in baby?
Not on the first. Not on the way there. On the way back, I was sitting by like a kind of fat guy because it was on Southwest Airlines, and they don't have assigned seats. So I was like, oh, I'll just sit here. And then after I sat down, I realized the guy was pretty huge, and
You sat down next to the guy who was already there?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And there was like a kid. I think his kid was sitting on the window seat, and he was in the middle. And I was like, oh, whatever. So I sat down. But he I don't know. He was kind of large, and I couldn't straighten out my legs because he was taking up half of my leg area.
Here we go.
But I didn't really care. And his kid sitting behind me was kicking my seat the whole flight.
You didn't tell him to stop?
I didn't really. I didn't. 4.
I lost. You won? You had a 4, I got 500 points.
500. Yeah, I don't. It was just kind of weird. The kid was screaming and babbling as a child does.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, whatever. This guy looks like a jerk, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Oh, if you said, "Hey, your kid's kicking me," he'd be like, "Shut up."
No, screw you, man. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I was listening to podcasts. So anyway, yeah, the first night we went to a wrestling show at in Westwego, Louisiana, which is southwest of New Orleans, and it was one of we sat in the 7th row. It was pretty cool. It was really great wrestling, not too entertainment-y, I guess. It was just wrestling. There was a ladder match. Saw them break a table. Saw a guy jump, fight in the crowd.
What?
Yeah, the wrestlers went into the crowd and they were fighting, and this one guy climbed up into the bleachers and jumped off onto the other guy.
Whoa.
And then they went through a table right behind us. We were sitting right by the stage where they come out. It's pretty cool. And we saw a ladder match. They used lots of ladders and chairs, and one guy was bleeding really bad.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a good time. My dad was loving it. We got to meet all the wrestlers beforehand because they were just out front.
Yeah.
Signing autographs. So talked to some of them. There was a guy I was wearing my UW hat, and the guy's name is Kyle O'Reilly, and he's from somewhere in British Columbia. I was like, oh, there were a few other wrestlers, or a bunch of people were talking to me. He's just sitting there. He's really cool. He's his gimmick, I guess, is a MMA mixed martial arts guy in pro wrestling. So he does lots of kicks and submission holds and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, I talked to him for a while, and I actually hate MMA, but I like wrestling. But I talked to him for a while, and he was like, "Oh, you from Washington?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I grew up a University of Washington fan." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." Then I talked to him for a while, and during his match, there were some guys, 2 guys in front of me that were chanting his name, and he was in the ring, and there was this other guy climbing into the ring, chanting O'Reilly, and then I think I yelled kick his face in or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then other guy yelled that too, and then he turned around at us and was like, yeah. And then he kicked this guy 6 times and elbowed him in the face.
Whoa.
It was the craziest thing ever. It was 7 kicks and punches in 3 seconds.
It looks seems real.
What they do is when they hit, I'll do it to you.
Oh.
Put my microphone right here.
Yeah. Oh.
Basically slap their thighs a lot, or their stomach.
Whoa. Ouch. Ouch.
So that's what he did, but a lot of times they'll actually hit him, but not too hard,
Mm-hmm. Well, ouch.
But yeah, the flurry of strikes looked really violent, and it was really awesome to see it. It's just because he acknowledged us in the crowd, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, we ate a bunch of really good food in New Orleans. There was jambalaya sandwiches. My dad ate some seafood. I got some fried chicken at a gas station. It was pretty good.
Whoa, that sounds, yeah, that,
Yeah, I liked it. We went to WrestleMania. It was in the Superdome, and there was 75,000 people there.
what?
Yeah, it was completely. It was the most people I've ever been in one place with.
That's
Like
a lot.
beforehand, outside, there's like a sea of people, and then inside, so it's a football stadium. They just have the wrestling ring in the middle, but then like part of the seats aren't used because they have a stage and like a video board. So like probably 1/5 of the seats just are blocked off.
Whoa.
Nobody's sitting there. But then they have seats on the floor, and it was just like, it was crazy to see. Like before the show, I went up to the very top row
Mm-hmm.
and took some pictures because I like to do that at stadiums that I haven't been to before. Just because you can see it's just really cool. Like see how up high you are and see the whole stadium. So I took pictures there and bought some chicken strips, ate those, and then watched WrestleMania, which was really crazy. The main thing that happened was The Undertaker. Who,
Saw The Undertaker?
Yeah, I saw that he's still wrestling.
Whoa, he's gotta be old.
Well, his thing is he was undefeated at WrestleMania. So this was WrestleMania 30, and he was 21-0 going
Whoa.
in. And basically, under his matches at WrestleMania, like that's the only time he wrestles now.
Oh, yeah.
He just wrestles once a year at WrestleMania.
He's gotta be like 55.
Yeah, he'll have like a crazy entrance that's like 10 minutes long with like fireworks and it's just ridiculous. It's the coolest thing ever. Well, what if his matches have become are, you usually have the best match of the night. Basically what that is wrestling, like the purpose is to like control the crowd's emotions, like bring him up, bring him down, like you think he doesn't have a chance to win, but then he wins, the kick out of when you think it's completely over.
Mm-hmm.
So basically his matches, you're just like, okay, he's gonna win, but it's gonna be an awesome match. You're
Yeah.
kinda like watching to see how he wins. And he lost.
He lost? Oh, no.
He got pinned, and it was the craziest reaction ever. Basically, like the reaction that they made, essentially took them like. It started. His first WrestleMania was 23 years ago. Like it was 23 years to make that reaction. Like they counted to 3, it was silence, and then you can hear, like the entire crowd just like what? Like,
Whoa.
Everybody stands up and they like were showing. They didn't even like announce who was the winner for like maybe a minute.
Yeah.
They didn't play their guys' music. Which it was Brock Lesnar. Who was. He was like did like collegiate wrestling. So he was the 2-time national champion in college, or 3 times or something.
That's the Olympics guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was in like WWE at a really young age. Won the championship, did everything, and then he went to UFC and then won their championship. So he was like, he's completely legitimate. And then he came back to WWE and he wrestles a couple times a year.
This is all after the Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he didn't actually wrestle in the Olympics. He was just in college.
Oh.
Just in college. Yeah, nobody thought he was going to win because he's like a part-time guy. And yeah, you should definitely like, if you're watching this, you should look up that match, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Just watch the end of it. Just see 75,000 people in shock because they showed shots of the crowd,
Yeah.
and everybody's face is just like, what?
Wow.
And it was like a minute before they announced anything or played any music. And there was, at one point during it, they don't. I've been watching it just like online a whole bunch. It's crazy. At one point on the screen, they had these big screens above the ring so that people in the really bad seats could see everything. They showed, like, threw up this graphic that said 21-1.
Oh.
Like when it happened, everyone's like, "Oh, he kicked out. He kicked out." Like just like in denial. And then they showed that, and the whole crowd's like, "Oh!" Like everyone's just like in agony.
It's info time.
Now it's info time.
Here are some answers to some frequently asked questions about the program. You're watching it right now. It's called Your Daily Hour with Me. It's a call-in television talk show based right here Thurston County every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It airs every night at 11:30 p.m. on TCTV channel 22. This episode airs a week after it's taped, so if you're watching on TV at 11:30, this episode was taped the same weekday of the previous week. If you are watching at 2 a.m., this episode taped the same day of the month of the previous year. You can also watch any episode of the program on youtube.com. Anyone can be on the program, especially you. We rely on the community for content, so give us a call at 360-836-4384 and leave us a message. We'll call you back on the next episode. Thank you for watching. And now back to the program. Yeah, so they showed this graphic. It said 21-1, and the crowd kind of like groaned. They're like, no, he actually lost. And then Brock Lesnar left, like walked up the ramp. The crowd was like booing him, chanting bullshit. People, there's like, because the stadium was so huge, different sections would chant their own thing, and like then other sides would catch on. There was sections chanting like we want refunds.
What?
Just things like that.
Because he didn't like the Undertaker
People were
losing?
leaving. It was completely crazy. And the Undertaker just laid there in the middle of the ring. When they showed the video, you can see his eyes open. Probably just like soaking it all in. Brock Lesnar leaves, and then Undertaker gets up and then like walks up the ramp really slowly, and everybody's like clapping. And so it was probably his last match ever. And so I got to see that.
They're having him retire it?
Yeah, basically like in wrestling, the way that they're supposed to like go out with a loss.
Oh, yeah?
Like legends, I guess, so that it like builds up other people. That's kind of the theory. So that's what happened. But the main part of the show is this other fellow, Daniel Bryan. He's pretty popular right now. The crowd chants yes during his matches, and before and after. That's his thing. He'll go like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
The whole crowd did that. It was wild. But he wrestled twice and won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's a short fellow with a beard and long hair, and he's from Aberdeen, actually. So he's a local.
Whoa.
He looks like someone who would be from Aberdeen. That's kind of how it's described. Really haggard looking, small, pale, not huge and muscular. But he does cool stuff.
Flips?
Some flips. He does backflip, front flip. He won the world title. They did a lot of fireworks after that. Everybody left happy. Whole crowd is chanting. Like his final matches were just really, really dramatic.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It was a really great match. Lots of drama points where they like took him out on a stretcher at one point, and then he came back, and then there were 3 people in the match, and the other 2 did their finishers to each other, and so he like thought it was over then. But then he won, and it was awesome. And yeah, then we flew out the next morning.
Do you eat any gumbo?
No, I didn't, because all the gumbo that I saw had seafood in it. I'm not into seafood. I'm actually allergic to shrimp, which most of them have shrimp in it.
Yeah.
But I ate jambalaya. It came as a side to one of the things that I got. I got a po' boy.
Oh, yeah, those are famous.
The one I had was like grilled, and it was really wild because they use like this French type bread that's really crispy on the outside and soft on the inside when it's grilled. That had like this cured meat, salami, olive stuff. Then I had another po' boy from this like deli that I found off of Bourbon Street, which like only local people were going to. So that was pretty cool. Like there were no chairs or anything there, and it's like a really sketchy part of town. I was like, let's go here, Dad. And I actually had jambalaya there. So my dad had like beans and chicken and jambalaya, but it was really fishy tasty, so I wasn't into it. Kind of hated it. But later that day I had my jambalaya, and it was really great. So all was saved. One of the funnier things I noticed is they have Popeyes in Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it says Popeyes like Louisiana fried chicken or
It still
whatever.
says it, yeah?
Yeah, it still says that. Which I'm like, isn't that redundant? It's like KFC's in Kentucky. Like,
They probably have KFCs in Kentucky. That makes more sense
call it
than
just
Popeyes.
FC. Redundancy. Popeyes is kind of strange because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, people like fried chicken down there, I guess. There's Church's Chicken and Popeyes everywhere, and then like every corner store had po' boys and fried chicken and just random stuff. All the restaurants had Cajun stuff. I ate head cheese.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, the first restaurant that we went to was Friday night before the wrestling show. Then I got like, I actually thought it was this place where you get sandwiches, but I was all confused about what place I was actually going to. So I had like a few places I wanted to try, just like looking around the internet. But this place had all sorts of weird Cajun dishes. But yeah, and so on the menu they had, I almost got this like pork cheeks, which is a really tender, good meat. But the other, it was like pork cheek with something else. I ended up getting like pork shoulder, which is essentially like the cut of meat that they make pulled pork with.
Yeah.
I got that, and it was grilled with pickled vegetables on it. It was one of the, probably the best thing I've ever ate, let's say.
Wow.
Then I got like sweet potatoes with that, and then the chef came out and he was like, "Oh, thanks for coming in.
Uh-huh.
Here's this dish for you." So it was a pretty fancy place. But we sat like at this bar thing overlooking the kitchen, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they brought that, and it was head cheese. And it was like this little square of it. It was like maybe a 1/4 inch thick. And it was really small. And they had these crackers. They were incredible.
The crackers are good, huh?
Yeah, the crackers were really good. And there was pickled peppers.
Yeah.
And then this mustard, too.
What's the head cheese? It just tastes like meat?
It's pork brain.
Pork brain, huh?
Yeah. But my dad was saying they do something with it where it soaks up a bunch of stuff. It's something weird.
Wow.
It like becomes like a gelatin type thing, which is what it was. I didn't know what it was when they brought it out. My dad did, because he'd had that before.
Oh, wow, that's freaky.
But it's kind of a weird texture, and it had a taste to it, just like general meat flavor, I guess. But then all the stuff you put on it was really great, so that kind of made it, I guess.
Here, I'm gonna look at some of these messages. We got a text message from Friday. He says, "Program yearly report for April 9th, 2013. Brian Eshon was here showing South by Southwest videos. In 2012, it was Transfix playing in the garage. In 2011, it was Erica and Lewis marriage counseling."
Whoa.
So this is our 4th April 9th that
Program.
we've done on the program here.
It's crazy.
Yeah. This is another message from, here's Dan Dobler. "Hey, Kenny. It's Dan.
Hi, Kenny.
You
Hi,
haven't
Kenny.
talked
This
to
is
him
Dan Dobler. This is Dan. You haven't called me for a while. I haven't called you. I haven't called, but I've been busy on other things. But you can call me back. We're still friends.
I think so.
Friends. You can call me back.
We're all
Bye.
still friends.
We're still friends, Dan. I'm calling Dan. He's probably sleeping right now, though, so he's probably not going to answer. We got one more voicemail from Mr. Ginsu.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick you your text message.
Whoa.
Motherfucking, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Listen to my new messages before you listen to my old messages.
Mailbox belonging to
Dan Dobler. About
is
motherfucker.
full.
Don't make me come down there, fucking kick so hard, fucking Freddy's ass comes your hat. You understand me?
Not really. Here we go. Let's call Mr. Ginsu. We'll see. Ask Mr. Ginsu has ever been to New Orleans. Did you see Hulk Hogan? Was he hosting or something?
Yeah, he was there. I saw The Rock.
Whoa, The
and
Rock was there?
Stone Cold Steve Austin. They did a thing at the beginning where they were just like hosting it. One of the funnier things is Hulk Hogan got confused at which dome it was, the name of the dome. He called it the Silver Dome.
Oh, what's that?
It was the Superdome. The Silver Dome is where they had WrestleMania 3 at, which is when they fought Andre the Giant.
Your
Whoa.
call has been forwarded
Yeah,
to an
so
automatic
change
voice
Superdome
message
over and
system.
over.
3601035 is not available.
Yeah, they were chanting Superdome until he finally corrected himself.
Mr. Ginsu, it's the program. You can call us back. You have about half an hour. Okay, bye.
So that's pretty fun. And then The Rock and Steve Austin like made fun of him for it once they came out.
Did they?
They made a point of like emphasizing the word Superdome when they were talking.
Did they wrestle?
No, they're all retired now. 4 and 6.
Oh wow, you got more points.
I guess they're not officially retired, but well, Hulk Hogan is retired from wrestling. Apparently, he can't pass physicals anymore because he has like hips replaced and his back's totally thrashed.
Yeah, I bet.
So they wouldn't even. Apparently, doctors wouldn't even clear him to like throw punches in the ring.
Wow.
Yeah, and Steve Austin just retired like 11 years ago. So Rock wrestled last year, but he wasn't very good.
He's a movie star now.
Yeah, he's making money. He actually got hurt the last time he wrestled, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
probably wants to avoid that. But he has a pretty crazy schedule, from what they say.
With the wrestler, or with the movies and stuff, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Training and doing all that. But yeah, got to see them. I saw The Ultimate Warrior. It
What?
was like the
Didn't he
cra-
just die?
Hey,
Yeah,
you've
well,
reached Freddie Dobler. I can't
talked
come to the
about it
phone
after
right
this
now,
message.
but if you leave me a nice message, then I will call you back as soon as I can.
I thought he was
Thanks a lot.
dead already.
Yesterday.
Hey, Freddie, it's the program. You can call us back. You have about 25 minutes. He died yesterday?
Yeah, he died yesterday.
So you saw him,
So
like...
the thing, so basically the story with him is that he left. He won the championship, left, like would demand more money and all this stuff that you're not supposed to do. So he didn't. He was only a wrestler for like 6 years. But he'd like come back occasionally, and then I think like 1997 was like the last time he was somewhat active.
Yeah.
But he was just like kind of ostracized from wrestling. They like made a DVD that was called like The Self-Destruction of Ultimate Warrior, and he's totally just like bashing him for like an hour and a half.
What is the Ultimate Warrior? Is he's like he was super intense, right?
Yeah, it was really intense and just like huge, muscular, like obviously on tons of steroids. So he'd run out to the ring and then run around the ring and shake the ropes and have a really short match where he just like beat the crap out of the guy. And he was really-
be the Ultimate Warrior!
He'd always lift him above his head and then drop him, and it was crazy. He was awesome. He had face paint and like tassels on his armbands and boots.
Yeah.
So, anyways, apparently they have the Hall of Fame, and they finally like kind of like made amends with him, and he was cool with them, and so they inducted him to the Hall of Fame. It had been like apparently in the works for like 2 years, just like getting. So he finally got older, and he's like a motivational speaker. And so on Saturday night, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and he gave this speech just about. It was pretty cool. It was good.
Do steroids and get crazy, yeah!
Well, no, he did. It wasn't in character. It was.
Oh.
I'm just talking about. I don't know. How the cool things about being a wrestler, like people idolizing him and thanking fans. Still, like, it was really cool, really humble and nice.
Was he wearing his get-up when he was...
No, he was just in a suit. Had his like children bring him out to the stage
WrestleMania?
at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And then at WrestleMania, he came out because they introduced all the Hall of Famers. And then on Monday, on their like weekly show, he came out and he was wearing his suit again. He walked out and like shook the ropes like he used to. And then he started talking. And he was like, I don't know what to say. And then he like put on. Well, he couldn't put on face paint, so he put on like these masks they were selling. Put on one of those, and then like gave like an in-character promo type thing. But he was talking about like how the Ultimate Warrior would live on forever and all this weird stuff about like when man breathed his last breath and how his spirit would live on forever.
Whoa.
And then on Tuesday, like during the day, he collapsed and then died.
He was like kind of seeming okay, and then he just keeled over?
Yeah. But it was like kind of one of those things where like, I don't know, like once he finally like made things right and was like content and happy. I guess like the whole weekend he like would take pictures of people in airports and wherever he was, like
Yeah.
receiving all this gratitude from people, and then died.
Wow.
Or maybe his work on Earth was over or something. I don't know.
That's far out.
But it was really crazy, like hearing about it, because everybody thought it was. I thought it was like fake.
Yeah.
First, I'm like, what? And then it was really surreal, I guess. Like, hearing his interview on Monday too.
Yeah, that's crazy. You saw him and he died so fast.
Yeah, I saw him in real life too.
Yeah.
At the show. It was like, wow, he had signed a contract to be like their ambassador. And it's like, whoa, that's weird. Yeah, I'd recommend his Hall of Fame speech. Watch that. It'll motivate you or
He was
something.
just wearing a suit at the WrestleMania too, though.
Yeah, he didn't wrestle. It was just they went on the stage. They played his music. And it was cool. Yeah, that was kind of a really crazy deal.
What about Macho Man? Is that guy dead yet?
Yeah, he died in a car. He had a heart attack and then crashed his car.
Oh man, that was a while ago, right?
He was, yeah, I think he was in pretty bad health. But apparently, like, I was like reading online earlier today, like, apparently, like, Ultimate Warrior was not feeling well or something during the week or weekend. I don't know. Like, he was out of breath or something. Or it was like maybe one of those deals where he knew it was like his days were numbered. Who knows? It's crazy how things like that are.
Cherish life, everybody.
Yeah. Don't hold on to grudges. or
RP
something.
Ultimate Warrior.
Or maybe hold on to grudges, because then you won't
Extra
die.
hard. Oh yeah, no, if you let them go and you relax.
Hold on to those grudges. Don't solve them until you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Maybe hold on to a grudge. All of them.
Yeah, just make one super death grudge.
Some huge grudge.
Just one.
And then when you're ready to die, just make it right.
Yeah.
If you can.
This would be the Ultimate Warrior, that guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Now he's the Ultimate Warrior for sure because he's dead. So
Apparently his spirit's living on.
he's the ultimate forever.
Ultimate. Yeah.
With the Ultimate Program.
Ultimate Program.
Yeah. Yeah, watch it,
I feel like
program.
that might be the name of this episode. Ultimate Program.
Watch it. Yeah. That's my.
We need face paint.
Yeah.
One of the funnier things is there's a video on YouTube of him. It's during from when he wrestled, his interviews. They're completely crazy and ridiculous.
Mhm.
There was one where the year that he fought Hulk Hogan, he gave this backstage interview, and half the time he's totally flexing and not facing the camera and talking really slow and snarling a lot.
Yeah.
But the main point of the interview was that he wanted to take control of Hulk Hogan's plane and send it into a nosedive and crash it.
What?
Into the ocean.
And
there were ones about filling a rocket with rocket fuel and returning to a home planet.
Most of those he just looks super,
intense.
But drugged out because you can see his veins and stuff. I think either he's just maybe he's just really good acting, but I think he's probably on crazy drugs.
Apparently,
his muscles are probably growing because he's doing all the steroids. He probably just
he did steroids for sure.
Yeah.
Just looking at him. Apparently he didn't do anything else. All the wrestlers back then did a ton of coke.
Yeah.
And then painkillers. But maybe he didn't, but he probably
I think he did
probably
the most. I think he did the most coke out of all of those guys. That's why he had the mask.
Yeah. I don't
Oh, he didn't wear a mask because of his face paint?
Yeah, face paint.
I think he did the most out of anybody, at least with his style, it seemed.
He's kind of intense anyway.
Did he still seem intense even though he was old and not the Ultimate Warrior anymore? He's still...
When he did the in-character thing, it was pretty much the same. He was just in a suit and not
Yeah.
all
But what about
he
he was kind of chilled out when he was not doing his character thing though, or was
yeah, well, I mean,
he didn't seem...
He was just loud, I guess. He was a loud, intense person in general.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Well, we're about to take a commercial break here.
Ultimate Program.
Yeah, when we get back from the commercial break, we'll probably call maybe some McDonald's. We'll call Jacob and Luke. They're scheduled to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see that. Maybe think about wrestling some more. I used to watch wrestling when I was a little kid. Remember Jake the Snake?
Yeah, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, was he there?
His speech was really wild because he talked about he had the most drug problems.
Whoa. We'll hear about Jake the Snake when we get back from commercial break.
We'll talk about it a bit.
How long is this commercial break?
Coming up tomorrow, or next episode of the show.
Hey, Cedar, you could be on the commercial with us.
What?
Hey, everybody.
Cedar.
It's the commercial. We're making a commercial for the show. It's your daily RC.
Oh, cool.
We're talking right now to Cedar.
Hey.
Luke is here.
In Oregon. Cedar's in Oregon. We talk about genetic.
I'm in Washington actually right now.
We're talking about chewing.
It's Spaghetti Week. Remember to chew your food, everybody.
We talk about panic attacks versus heart attacks.
How many times should you chew spaghetti?
How many? How many?
I think spaghetti
Chomp,
is
chomp, chomp.
Eggs Week.
So we're back. Yeah, Jake the Snake Roberts. So he was kind of a creepy guy, brought a snake to the ring. Psychological in his ways.
Uh-huh.
One of the main things after the main part of his career, there's this documentary called Beyond the Mat. It's about wrestling.
I saw that.
Yeah, during the documentary, he was like smoked crack.
Whoa.
He was pretty big into that. Like, he lost his family, disowned him or something in the movie. The main part is he like told one of the promoters for a show that like he wasn't gonna wrestle if he didn't have any crack. So
Wow.
the promoter had to like provide him money to get crack with. So anyways, that was in like '98, and he was pretty messed up until like a year and a half ago. But like during he got cleaned up because the other wrestler has like this is like his yoga program, so he did that.
You did yoga?
The other wrestler, like, they did this thing where he was like living at his house and got him off all the drugs and alcohol, got him like in shape doing yoga and all this. And during his speech, it was really heavy. So he was talking about like how he was envious of the other like wrestlers from his time who had died, and he was like angry that he was still alive.
Why didn't I die?
He didn't want to kill himself.
But he had a death wish, huh?
Yeah, he didn't want to kill himself because it would like shame his family. His family members were still living.
Wow.
But he got all this stuff figured out thanks to support of people, and now he has his family back and he's in shape better, and he's not smoking crack.
Did he seem
on
messed up
documentaries.
though?
No, not anymore. Like videos of him like 2 years ago, he was really jacked up.
Don't do drugs.
He's in horrible shape. Like he looks like he got like 15 years younger.
Whoa.
So good for him.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Especially
And adults.
crack.
Yeah. This is Jacob. Jacob is scheduled here for tomorrow.
Hey, it's me. Leave me a message and I'll listen to it.
At the tone, please message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Jacob.
It's the program.
How are you doing today? You can call us back. You have about 15 minutes. You're scheduled to be here tomorrow at 10 p.m. Can you make that? Can you make that? Or 10 p.m. We can actually probably do the show earlier, maybe even. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Here we go. Next call, Luke. Let's say, hey, Luke. How you do?
Hello?
Hey, Luke. How you do?
I do all right.
Oh, good. We're on TV.
How's being on TV?
We're
Great.
Yeah, we're here with Jeremy.
Jeremy Hammer?
Yep, that's me.
Have you ever been into wrestling, like professional wrestling, Luke?
No.
Huh.
I have never been into that. I have watched some of it over my apartment mate's shoulder, you know. Well, they watch it on TV or something.
Uh-huh.
But I never got a kick out of it, no.
All right. You're scheduled to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
You want to do, I can do earlier, I realize. I can do maybe 8:30, or do you want to do 10 o'clock still?
No, I want to do 8:30.
8:30, okay. We'll be here then at 8:30.
Okay. Okay.
It's going to be spaghetti week.
Good.
Luke had a... did you have a heart attack, Luke, or...?
No, I had something that resembled a heart attack, but all evidence says it wasn't.
All right, well, we'll hear about that. We can hear about all your health stuff. That's fine to talk about in the program, right?
Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll hear all about your health tomorrow.
That's what you'll do. You hear about my health tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
At 8:30.
Okay.
During spaghetti week.
On spaghetti week.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Luke. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Speaking of health, today I had a job interview with the city that I interviewed with when I was really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, like, half the people remembered me. They're like, you're it's you again. Like, thanks for coming up. I was like, oh yeah, I'm glad I'm not sick again.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you were sick? So I didn't mention it.
Oh, yeah.
They were talking about that for a bit. They're like, yeah, you seemed like you were really tired. You seemed really nervous. I was like, no, I was sick and I wanted to leave. So I think it went really well.
Better than the last time when you were about to die.
I was energetic this time.
Yeah, weren't you, like, pretty close to death? I think you were, like...
Yeah, I would say that's the closest I've been to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting. But, yeah, it's kind of funny talking about that in the interview.
Did you tell
They're
them?
like, oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, I had pneumonia. They're like, yeah, something seemed up with you. Like, they just thought I was really nervous.
Uh-huh.
But I was, like, pale and unenergetic and not looking at people.
You're like gonna die, yeah.
And not talking much because I couldn't take full breaths. So I was... say a few words, then breathe really shortly, then say a few more words, and then, like, I hadn't slept in a while, so I wasn't thinking right. So I was like, I don't want to talk much. But yeah, it went well. Talked a lot, smiled, showed energy.
Yeah.
Had a normal skin tone, I guess. Not pale and sickly.
Not on your death.
I resembled life, not
yeah.
near death. So that was good.
This guy seems qualified, but it also seems like he's about to die.
You know, he might live till... I'm not sure if this guy lived through the week.
Chico McDonald's.
Hey, McDonald's. Do you guys have the strawberry pies right now?
I'm sorry, the what?
Strawberry pies?
No, we're all out.
Oh, what you got now?
Peaches and cream and apple.
Peaches and cream? Is that the same kind of cream as in strawberry cream?
Okay, you do realize you called yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't appreciate the prank calls.
It's not a
Find
prank.
somebody else to call.
Hello? I called the same one twice in a row. Oops. That doesn't happen usually, but...
It's not a prank, though.
Not a prank. For real. I guess we're gonna call somewhere else.
Just don't do California.
Yeah. We'll call Oregon.
Call Wisconsin.
I think they're gonna be closed in Wisconsin, though.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Call Salem, Oregon.
Salem, New Mexico.
Is New Mexico in the Pacific time zone?
No.
I think it's in Central.
Mountain.
Mountain? Is there... How many are there? Central Mountain?
4.
Good afternoon, McDonald's.
Hey, McDonald's, do you guys have the strawberry pies right now?
I'm sorry, do we have what?
The strawberry cream pies?
Yep.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
I'm gonna call that... Oh.
6, 5, 2.
I had it too, but you won with 1,000 points from before.
Yes.
You're the winner today.
I'm glad to hear that. It's been a while since I've won or even rolled a 4.
Wow.
So it was good day.
Did you see any movies on the plane? They show a movie, or did you ride the plane where they had the TVs in the seats?
The first plane I was on, they had TVs in the seats, but it was like satellite TV, and then you had to pay for it. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
You just have an iPod or something.
Yeah, just listen to stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
So it was good.
No TV. They charge.
It was actually the first time I had ever not sat in a window seat on a plane.
Wow.
It's the first 3 flights I had.
Did they give you
to transfer like each way?
Mm-hmm.
So the only time I had a window seat was we flew from. We had a stopover in Milwaukee on the way back.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee. Yeah.
So I sat by the window from Milwaukee to Seattle. I didn't see much until we got to eastern Washington, I think, because it was a little bit cloudy, and there's just not much to see.
Mm-hmm.
In North Dakota and Montana.
That's in Wisconsin, right? Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Did you eat plain food?
They didn't. Oh, they all had snacks.
Peanuts?
Yeah. Well, the first flight.
Pretzels?
What did they have the first? They just had like drinks the first flight. I don't think they had any food.
Complimentary soda?
Yeah, I had orange juice.
Yeah.
So I was still thinking I might sleep. So. And then the second flight was like 40 minutes from Houston to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really short. Like basically they got to cruising altitude and then started their descent. So it was like up and then down. And then from New Orleans to Milwaukee, I got like a bag of these crackers. And then from the next part, I actually got like these like Reese's things with cheese and then Oreos.
Reese's with cheese?
Or no. Ritz.
Ritz.
Crackers with cheese.
Yeah. Gotta keep your
usually
names.
Usually on
brand.
flights they'll give you like a little sandwich type thing or like snacks, I guess.
Squeezed cheese? Or sandwich cheese, like
the weird, not real cheese.
the sandwich with the crackers with the cheese in the middle of them already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
stuff is weird. It's like
they were
butter.
tasty. Yeah,
Butter cheese.
I ate them. I would eat more. At the Superdome, when we were waiting outside, they had like free samples of stuff, and they had Fruity Pebbles, like crispy treats.
What?
They were so good.
They were just giving. There was just like booths around giving out samples.
There were people walking around, like bags of them.
They're just trying to promote stuff.
Yeah. The Fruity Pebbles one, they gave me 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was like, I don't want one. I was like, ah. So I started eating them. I was like, these are really good.
Yeah.
So we were like sitting around, there's just like playing stuff on this giant screen. We were watching that. And I like, every once in a while I'd look down and find where the person was, then run down and get like a sample. They came up to our seat once. And I was like, get some, let's take them. So I had like 3 and then 6 more. And then I ran down and the person was like, haven't I given you these before? And I was like, yeah, they're free, so what?
Yeah.
He like handed me 3. I'm like, come on, give me more.
Yeah.
So I got like 9 of them that time.
Whoa.
I had all my pockets full.
Yeah.
So that probably wasn't good for my health, eating like 19 of those Fruity Pebbles things.
That's where the Superdomes are where they held all the refugees or whatever. I mean,
yeah, it's probably haunted.
Yeah? Did people die there?
Yeah. Well, they had the Super Bowl there last year and the power went out for like half of the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
During the game.
I remember that. So that opens up?
No.
No.
They actually renovated it.
Oh.
So the inside's all new. And they redid the roof because half it got blown off.
Since the Super Bowl?
Well, since the hurricane.
They got the hurricane blew the roof off?
Like, not completely, but like, the outer layer, I guess.
But there were people like living in there, right?
Yeah, the like whole floor area was just full of people and
they didn't have anywhere to
and all that.
Yeah.
They just hung out there.
That's crazy.
A lot of people went there during the hurricane because it was a place to go, I guess. Because the freeways are all backed up, and there's not really anywhere to go, like to higher ground around there. It's all really low. And yeah.
It's kind of dangerous. I mean, downtown Olympia is, I heard.
It's fill, so it would there's a big earthquake, it'll move.
Yeah,
A lot more.
I heard that it is not very stable.
Yeah. Over time, it gets more stable, but
It's kind of like New Orleans was kind of built in a
they
bad
say
place.
That downtown Tacoma will actually it'll slide down the hill, so that's way worse. I think Seattle might do that too.
Yeah, a lot of these places that are close to the ocean were built.
Or just built on hills. That's kind of a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'd say. As we've seen from the landslide. You know,
Oh yeah,
Earth
that
moves and
it can happen.
yeah.
That was in
But,
Oklahoma. Do you know anybody up there?
Olympia is pretty flat, so I don't think it would be too bad. Like it'll just slide into the water a bit.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't maybe be deadly, but it would just be property,
Yeah.
crazy property damage. You know.
Yeah.
Like it would just and grow. It'd be gross.
Like New Orleans, the downtown New Orleans, there shouldn't be a city there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Los Angeles, there shouldn't be a city there because it's just desert and they bring in all the water.
Yeah, there's a drought.
Constantly a drought. They actually, all the water in LA comes from Mulholland Lake, actually like 50 miles away.
Whoa.
Yeah. System of like pipes that bring it down.
Ship it in, huh?
Yeah, because that's where they wanted to put a city instead of a better place because they could have like a port there and all that. Like it's a good location for a city, besides the point that there's no water.
Yeah.
Strange things about cities.
Did you see crazy was it crazy fans? People dress up. They have.
Yeah. There was basically like any wrestler you could think of from like the history of wrestling. It's like people dressed up as them.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of an exaggeration, but I saw people from like all eras of wrestling. I think the funniest one. Well, there's
Lucha Libres.
Yeah. There were several groups. There's this group called the Shield. And they dressed in kind of like in SWAT team stuff. There's 3 people in it.
Yeah.
But there was like 8 different groups of the Shield, like in the crowd, like outside the stadium beforehand. So
Oh yeah.
I was like, they should fight. And there's this guy that's.
Oh, 1 minute left.
Kind of a backwoodsy looking guy. There's a bunch of people dressed as him.
The Aberdeen guy.
There were people dressed like him. There was another. One of the funniest ones. There's this older wrestler called the British Bulldog.
I heard of him. Yeah.
There's a guy. I saw a few people dressed as him, but there
With
was
the mullet.
Yeah. Well, he had like the braids, like the cornrow type things from like 1990s.
Oh, he had a
style.
mullet for a while too. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was a guy dressed as him, and I saw him when I was walking up the stairs to go to the concession stands. And somebody was like, "Oh, you're the British Bulldog." Like a few people said that.
I thought it was really him.
I was like, "I'm from England." That's all he would say. That's all he could say in the British accent. Because I heard him say it like 5 different times, and he wouldn't talk other than that.
All right. Well, thanks for coming here today.
Not from England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Ginsu and Freddie and Dan Dobler and McDonald's and The Ultimate Warrior. This episode is dedicated to you.
Yes.
Live on in our hearts. You live on our hearts.
Watch some Ultimate Warrior videos online. They're great. It's episode number and date.
Review of the week. Thanks. Yeah. TV.
TCTV, channel 22.
Computers. Check it out.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah, we're on there. Phones, call the number, leave a message on TV. Crew. You guys want to be on the crew? I'm doing anything if you want, though. TCTV. Oh, yeah. Lavero.com. Check it out. Cycle Feeling.
Jordy.
Fabulous. Thurston County, Washington State, USA. Thank you. Oh, some more viewers. That's you. You're watching. Thank you. Hell yeah, dog. Bye-bye.